Shalom, shalom. It's no ordinary voice of spiritual ventriloquism. You are listening to the dummy himself. I guess it was last week, a pastor was talking about, people that come in and, they bring a doctrine with them, that's something that they're trying to sell or whatever. And, I'd mentioned to him, after that, probably no one's ever really realized this, but to do that, you're really kind of violating. I think it's Deuteronomy 24, Deuteronomy 25. Y'all can look it up, where it says that if you go through a neighbor's field, that you shall pluck the ears of corn or grain with your hand, but you shall not put your sickle upon it. In essence, that's what you're doing. If you're from, you're coming from the outside and you're new and things like that, and you're pushing a doctrine, maybe true, maybe false, could be true. Last I checked, none of us have arrived. We've been mistaken, we've been misinformed on things in the past, probably will in the future. No problem there. But when you come in with that as your agenda, you're actually, what you're doing is, that's like putting a sickle into another man's field and harvesting where you have not sowed, you have not plowed, you haven't tended to it, and so you're actually trying to reap a harvest out of another man's work. And like I said, whether your doctrine is correct, whether it's incorrect, it doesn't matter. That is patently wrong. You're violating threshold covenant, boundary markers, aka boundary markers of a person's field. You're taking husbandry over someone else's inheritance, and that is, patently wrong. I mean, it's just wrong on so many levels. Some doctrines are homegrown, and they have, they may grow. They may be tares, they may be wheat, But, as long as the doctrine's homegrown, then, we'll see what comes of it. And I'm willing to wait for all of that. What am I going to do anyway? I'm here. Anyway, so that's wrong. And going along those lines, I wanted to address a few things because the other night, there was a guy who called in or text in or whatever to Pastor Dow's broadcast last Shabbat Eve, and said he was a prophet and things like that. And this is something that's been bouncing around in my head for quite some time, so I'm just going to go ahead and share it. And I did get some validation from Elder Becker because I value his opinion on things that are doctrinal and things that I bounce things off of his head from time to time. And I'll just go ahead and give you my position. I do not believe, Brother Rich, personally, through the research that I have done, do not believe that there are prophets today in the new, or I'll say in the Son of Man sense of the usage of the term. I understand in the New Testament there was Agaba, okay, and for whatever reason, they denoted him to be a prophet. I personally reject that conclusion. And the reason I personally reject that conclusion is based on the fact that Paul is very definitive when he speaks of the foundation of the apostles and the prophets. Now, see, that leaves some out even under the Son of Man time, okay? Because there were a lot more than 12 prophets. There's 12 apostles, okay? The foundation of the apostles and the prophets, Jesus Christ being the chief cornerstone, okay? That is a definitive number that Paul is alluding to there in that text. And how should I say this? Okay, he's basically showing a New Testament council of elders by number. Okay, we're just saying people that are being installed for all time as physical components of the temple of the body of the Messiah. Okay? So I think that's there. I think it's very definitive. Now, just because you exercise Hebraized versions of fortune telling or, predicting the future or telling people about themselves does not necessitate that Yah has called you to be a prophet in the Son of Man's sense. 1 Corinthians 12, 1 Corinthians 14, those chapters make it perfectly clear, okay, that these are spiritual gifts. To exercise a spiritual gift does not give you an office, Some people have the word of knowledge. Some people have the word of wisdom. That doesn't make them pastors. Doesn't make them elders. You following me? You following where I'm going here? So, yeah. And I just don't think that that's so. And I pinged off of Elder Becker, and I'm not trying to pimp Elder Becker here, okay? Elder Becker has wisdom. I do refer to him, and I asked him that question, what his opinion was. His opinion was that everyone he has ever talked to that have stated that they were a prophet has never actually met the test of a prophet. One of the things is if you're going to be a prophet, you're going to have to live like a prophet. And that means unto Yah and to him alone. If you're a prophet, you don't have anything to say other than what proceeds from the mouth of Yah. It is a lonely ass road. And honestly, I just don't see, because if you're truly in tune with Yah, then you're going to be despised at times. You're going to be have the company of the afflicted and things like that. I mean, you can go back and read the history of what happened, what Yah's people did with the prophets, and then all of a sudden the New Testament rolls around, and this is the new, what do you say, the new fidget spinner in the realm of religion is to be a prophet. I just don't see that. I don't see people changing that much, really. Sorry. Because at the end of our life, we might be the greatest man on earth, but at the end of the summation of all things, we are still men. So anyway, that leads me to another thing, and you know how things like daisy chain along. Just because, what do you say? Just because you have a gift from the as outlined by the Apostle Shaul, and you're given a gift, that does not validate everything that goes on in this head. All right? That doesn't validate all of the baggage of Christianity. We brought plenty of baggage over from Christianity. Believe it, it's still here. I still see it all the time. I see it in myself. I see it in the attitudes of other people. The way that, you can't have 1,700 years of foreign influence and you being dominated by that. It's now in your genetics and has to be worked out. I mean, seriously. The tree of righteousness has not arrived yet, okay? By any stretch of the imagination. But, I'll just use the gift of healing, okay? Just because Yah has given you a gift of healing because you're a moral person, because your heart is right with Him, despite your failures or whatnot, for some reason, He's got a thing for you. you're like David, you're a man after his own heart or whatever, so he uses you. He used a jackass one time, didn't make a habit out of it. He used women, didn't make a habit out of it. You know what I'm saying? As judges and things like that, didn't make a habit out of it. Okay? See, it's very hard to try to convey this thought and this idea over to people that just because God uses you does not validate everything that you say and everything that you do is so, because I've seen over the years, I've lived long enough, I've seen people change gears on things that they previously believed. Polygyny is one of them. It'll never happen. It's wrong or whatever, it's not going to happen. We're in a different time. And then only to see these men change their thoughts and ideas and then suffer because of it, because they changed their mind. I thought that's when the party's supposed to begin, when you change your mind. No, you begin to suffer for when you change your mind. Because just because your mind has changed, just because you have come to the knowledge of the truth, doesn't mean that other people are going to go along with you. And that does not validate everything else. Well, this was the last doctrinal flaw I had left, and so, I'm good from now. I can just go shoot on off to glory now and everything will be just fine. Sure, you can shoot off to glory and everything will be just fine. Still doesn't change the fact that, like Ben Stanhope said in his book, Misinterpreting Genesis, which is a